Aries, welcome. This is Crow Indigo Intuitive Tarot. This is your monthly read for January 2020. Crazy, isn't it? Already 2020. We're going to do some questions. It's a general reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. And our first question there, those 4 cards, is what gifts does the universe have for you this month and perhaps for the year? Starting out with the month anyway. What are we leaving behind now? What can we step away from and leave in 2019? And our last one is what lies ahead, and this can be during the month. It could start in the month, it could be for the year, it could be for the years ahead. And as always, I want to say that it's the energies I'm picking up. It's what I'm seeing now. It's not written in stone. And sometimes being aware of what is out there as a possibility can help you to make choices that move you in a different direction. All right, Aries, let's see what we have gift-wise. What are we leaving behind? And this is intuitive, so some of this is going to be familiar as Rider-Waite type of interpretations, but for the most part I'm going with intuition on my readings lately. I'm sort of called to do that. See what we have for you, Aries. So you'll start to see some progress. You'll start to see your efforts bearing fruit. Really, it's not time to harvest just yet in January, but you're starting to see that you're definitely on the right track. Whatever you're working on is starting to grow. It's starting to ripen, and sometime soon you'll be ready to harvest. There is real opportunity in this. Whatever you're spending your time on, this could be something that leads to deeper understanding of your soul, a real increase in your sense of security in self, physically, financially, spiritually even. You could be feeling more whole, more solidly grounded. The High Priestess energy tells me that you are getting in touch with some divine knowledge this month, really starting to understand spiritual concepts that maybe were in the past a bit too esoteric for you. You may have been conceptually aware of these items, of these truths in the past, but you didn't really understand them on a deep, visceral level. You weren't really getting the meaning, and now you're starting to get it. You're starting to understand. It's one of those moments in time where it's just like your mind is blown, is what I'm sensing here. That you just, it's like, how did I not see it that way before? I'm sort of getting this sense of almost like a VR type of thing where, what are those things called, where sometimes you can move your phone around, like with the Pokemon game, and you can see images that you can't see in reality, but you can see them with this decoder of a sort. Like that, but on a much more profound and emotional, spiritual level that you could just see with new eyes, is what I'm hearing. Knight of Swords in reverse. I'm kind of sensing there that something in January sort of turns things on their head for you. So you thought you understood a situation, and then you just didn't. It's what you learn in January really shifts your understanding of what you thought you knew to be true. I don't think that's necessarily in a bad way. It might not even be in a significant way. There's just a sense here that your perception is changed by something you learn. Something that you thought you understood, you don't understand. And it could be related to this seeing things with new eyes energy that I was feeling before, What are you leaving behind in 2019? What don't you need to worry about so much anymore? This energy of the Queen of Cups is just a really comforting self-love. You're compassionate, and you're really in tune to loving yourself, which then allows you to be more open and loving with others. The Seven of Swords in reverse sort of kind of harkens back a little bit here with this Knight of Swords. There's something that that you thought was a bit deceptive. You thought that somebody wasn't being straight with you, and I think that it becomes more clear over time that was a misconception on your part, that it wasn't quite the situation you thought it was. That you perhaps your feelings were hurt by something, but as you're learning more information, you realize it wasn't the personal slight that you thought it was. It wasn't like somebody was intentionally trying to hurt you, even though that's maybe how it seemed at first. Two of Wands, kind of looking toward the future, making plans. I think that generally what I'm feeling here, Aries, is that it's not that you're leaving self-love behind, but what you are overall leaving in the past is a sense of trying to sort it out and make a plan. So you may be leaving that behind for a couple of reasons, Aries. You may have decided that this isn't something you're pursuing anymore, whatever is pulling all of these elements together. This sort of compassionate focus on loving yourself because you felt like you were being deceived, but then you realized you weren't being deceived, and that puts you into kind of a spin of emotional sorting out of sorts. Excuse me, Aries. And then you were trying to make plans about what you should do, so you may be leaving this situation because you've made your plan, because you know which direction you're going in now, because you no longer need to look at the map, because it's all very clear. This has been sorted, this confusion is sorted out, and you're moving in the direction you've chosen. Or this confusion put you in a position where you decided this was not a plan. This was not a route to plan, to map out, and you're stepping away from working on that at all. It's hard for me to tell. I kind of guess in my gut, I feel like you learned a lot in whatever this situation was, and that you've grown, and you have made a plan, but I'm not real clear on what that means. I think you're in a better space mentally, emotionally. I don't think you're leaving your compassion and your self-love. I think it feels good to have some clarity here and to be able to move forward. Let's see about this. What is ahead? What lies ahead? So there is love. There's emotional connection with someone. Someone's coming toward you with a desire to know you better, to be more connected to you. And there's something about this person finally moving in your direction that is bringing balance to your life. That's bringing heart and mind into alignment. That is bringing the just solution to a situation and bringing you joy. So I think there is here quite a bit of joy I'm sensing. And it may be from a resolution of this situation, getting to know this new person, connecting with this person. I do think it's interesting that we have 20 and 19 next to one another. There's something that has happened in this year just ended in 2019 that is really important with regard to your moving forward toward your joy. So though you're leaving some confusion or some mental gymnastics behind, that was really important work you were doing to help you move in the direction that brings you to joy. I'm going to do a couple of clarifying pulls for you, Aries. Let's see about the gifts of 2020. Let's see if there's any information here additional from Spirit with regard to 2020 and the gifts it wants to give you. Let's see. There's, again, look at that. The Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity to grow your financial and physical security. And the Queen of Swords. So this is a very exacting energy, the Queen of Swords. It's quite a supportive, intellectually gifted space to be in, but it can be a bit exacting. So that Queen holds a very large sword. She's having nothing but the truth. And so I feel like as you're moving into this space, it's going to be very important to be authentically yourself in order to receive fully the gift of this opportunity. And if we're focusing on this as, development of you on a soul level, a new opportunity that really lets you connect with your soul purpose and to understand yourself and the world at large better, then I think this is definitely going to be an important aspect of that, being always in your truth, having integrity in word and deed, and really focusing on always being authentic. What about what we're leaving behind? Do I have anything there? Wishes coming true is a focus there. And that could be, what I'm sensing here is if those wishes, if anxiety or worry or the unknown, that reversed Seven of Swords, was making you, worry a lot about negative outcomes, then those may have been the wishes you were making come true, that you were manifesting and calling to you negative outcomes because you were so wrapped up here emotionally on something. We have also the Page of Pentacles and the Three of Wands, which is very interesting because this is sort of seeing what you desire and then making a plan, gathering your resources, getting yourself ready to go after it. And this is, having an eye toward the future, waiting for your ships to come in, looking for some growth, with regards to something you're passionate about, something that you're trying to create. I think that you're leaving behind this sort of strong urge and desire to direct and control and sort of tell the universe what you are wanting, confusing what you want with what you need, I guess, is what's coming through for me. What you're leaving behind is that really strong energy of you trying to direct and control what the outcome will be. And you're starting to realize that you need really to be open, that there's nothing wrong with working toward a goal, but you have to be a little more open about how you get there. Excuse me. Let's see. Any clarifying cards on what lies ahead. You're freeing yourself from something addictive. Something has been controlling you to some extent. This situation here where you're trying to manufacture an outcome. And so you're starting to be freed from that loop-de-loop in your mind over and over again here. There's also here, interesting, Justice in reverse over Judgment, and the King of Wands in reverse over the Sun. So there's some creative spark, some passion, something that was really spurring you on is less important to you now. And it may be that control aspect, kind of letting that go a little bit. There is something about this balancing of head and heart, this reckoning of everything that's come before, that doesn't feel like it's actually right. I'm not sure what that is. Let me see if I can get a little bit more clarification here. That there's something about that. Judgment clarified by justice in reverse. Something doesn't seem as balanced as it quote unquote should be. I don't know what that is. Aries, let's see. Oh. Queen of Wands. I don't know quite how to read this. I feel like maybe sometime in the year ahead could have something to do with this. There's this new connection, this new relationship. It's right. This connection with this person is right, and it does balance your heart and head. But in that process, it feels like somebody loses. And it's this Queen of Wands energy. So that's somebody that you're connected with, that really feeds your creativity, and this person kind of loses in this equation somehow, or this person feels like they've lost. This person feels like they've lost something because of your developments in the year ahead. It could be a part of yourself. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't really have an answer for you on that. I mean, that might resonate with some of you. It doesn't necessarily... It might not be something for all of you. It might just be something particular to one or two. I'll just see if there's any further clarification. Just one more card, Spirit, please. And clarify about this Queen of Wands, who feels that justice has not been served. What's the deal with the Queen of Wands? It's a reverse Tower. So someone feels like there was meant to be an end. There was meant to be a shift. And it's been delayed. It's been put off yet again. And that just doesn't feel like justice to this queen. And again, I don't know that that's you. I think it's someone else, because I feel like you are connecting with somebody. And it doesn't mean that that it's a lover. It could just be a friend. These could be friend energies. The person that you work with creatively, the one that has that spark that really provides you with inspiration. I think that's a different person than the person coming toward you with the offer of connection. The person coming toward you with that offer of connection really balances you in some way. And it seems like that brings you joy. And because of that, this creative spark person feels like, it's an unjust situation for them, not for you. They don't feel like it's right, and they feel like yeah, there's a change happening for you, but this isn't the change they thought should happen for you. I guess that's a little bit convoluted there at the end, Aries, but I think it's going to be an interesting year. I do feel like whatever you were doing in 2019 is really moving you forward toward this new financial opportunity, this new opportunity for security. It's very important that you stay authentic. It is also really likely that some of the emotional turmoil or confusion that you went through in 2019 is clearing up for you. There was some hope here, some plan you were making, and now you're realizing that's maybe not the way to go. And then you are getting free here. You're being freed from some sort of addictive something or other that happened in the past. As you're moving forward, there is joy there, which is nice. I'm going to pull one of these Dragon Oracle cards and see what further guidance we may have from Spirit for you. We have the Golden Orange Dragon. You can see that. Expands your light for ascension. Be a peaceful warrior. Help those in need. Remember your magnificence. So, I don't know how that ties in with the rest of your cards, except perhaps in this situation where there's potentially a little bit of turmoil. Someone's feelings are hurt. Someone feels like they didn't get the outcome they were meant to get in relation to you. That you should try to stay in a peaceful space with this person. Help this person to the extent you can without harming yourself, of course. And remember that you are working on something really great here. And that if this person's coming into your life, and they're balancing your heart and head, that is a good thing. You can't be responsible for everyone else and how they react to your life. There's joy here for you, and you are well worthy of it. I'm going to pull lastly here one of the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck cards for you. Just one last bit of guidance. Let's see what we have. Firefly. I'm going to read the book for you on that. There's air. Inspired and fantastic, yet fleeting. The firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high-frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. There is firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive light? When you're in balance, this involves writing, creating, brainstorming, and when out of balance, feeling burnt out or feeling dull. To bring this into balance, you should write a poem or draw. I think maybe I'm sensing a little bit of a connection here. This person who was a creative spark for you, that just was a chapter in your life. It was a phase. It was something that you really needed when it happened. It really did inspire you, but it's fleeting, right? And if you can't capture that light, that inspiration, sometimes you just can't. Sometimes everything has a season. And although this person may be upset by that season ending, there's not really for you. It's not, I don't want to say not for you to care about, because you should care, right? When people that have been important to you are sad or have been hurt by your choices, but it doesn't mean you should change the choice you've made. It doesn't mean that you should forego living your life in order to keep this other person happy. It's not going to be the same. You shared something. It was amazing, and it has ended. And again, I'm not necessarily speaking of a lover. It could be a friend. It could be a creative collaborator. There's been some spark that you've shared with another. Excuse me. 1 minute here. Sorry, bit of a cold. You shared it, and it has ended. And that's simply where we're at. So, sorry about that. I think that's what I have for you, Aries. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for supporting the channel. I hope that you have a fantastic January and a wonderful 2020. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. We'll see you next time. Blessings.